Welcome to the 3-minute guide to Majordomo Heroic. This is the penultimate fight of the raid, but it's arguably one of the easiest fights of the entire instance, and assuming you get a few core concepts down, this boss will go down extremely quickly. On Heroic, every member will have a stacking damage buff called Concentration. This will give you a 25, 50, 75, or 100% damage and healing increase based on your concentration bar. This takes about 20 seconds to stack to max, and taking any damage will reset it to 0. The boss has an enormous health pool, so having as high uptime of this buff as possible will be important. Delay your loss on pull in accordance with the buff. The boss will have two forms, cat form and scorpion form. In these forms, he'll have a stacking energy bar. Once he reaches 100 energy, he'll do a special ability based on which form he's in. In cat form, he'll do a leap on a random range target, doing damage on impact and leaving a flame puddle on the leap location. He'll also spawn a spirit ad that does big damage on the tank. Cleave these down and they will always target the tank, so no need to worry about threat. In Scorpion form, he'll do a frontal cleave that does a huge amount of damage unless it's shared between raid members. But as we want to keep our concentration stacks as high as possible, we'll completely skip this mechanic. If you're playing a Protection Paladin, you can soak one of his cleaves every 3 minutes with Ardent Defender. Every time the boss gets 100 energy, he'll get a stacking buff called Adrenaline, which speeds up his energy regeneration. First energy bar, once he enters a form, will take 18 seconds to fill, and will get faster and faster after that. You control which form he's in by either spreading or stacking as a raid. To enter Scorpion form, you'll need 7 people stacked on 10 man and 18 on 25 man, any less than that, he'll enter cat form. Every third time the boss shifts form, he'll briefly go into human form to cast either Searing Seeds or Burning Orbs. What he casts will depend on what form he was in before shifting out. If cat, then Searing Seeds. If scorpion, then Burning Orb. Searing Seeds will give each raid member a debuff which explodes and does damage to anyone within 12 yards when it expires. The seed debuff timer will be different for all raid members, so move out of the raid only when it's about to expire and not too early, otherwise you'll risk transforming the boss when you don't want to. You can use immunities right before the seed gets applied to not get a debuff. Burning Orbs will spawn big stationary orbs that targets the nearest person. This will need to be soaked by the tank and the second person, but can also be soaked with immunities from things such as Ice Block and Bubble. And that's the mechanics. Let's talk about how to actually play the fight. On both 10 and 25 man, bring 1 tank and 1 designated orb soaker, along with 2 healers on 10 man and 5 on 25 man. Combat rogues are extremely good on this fight. Start the fight spread out in a circle to initiate in cat form. Pop lust once at 100 stacks and take 4 leaps before moving into stack to trigger scorpion form. 5 to 7 seconds before he does his frontal, spread out to trigger cat form again. Now orbs will spawn. To counter the orbs, move the entire raid group so that the tank is closest to all of the orbs. Have your tank take all of the orbs, get 15 to 20 stacks, then swap with the designated orb soaker. Simply swap back and forth every 15 to 20 stacks. You'll get 4 leaps in cat, stack, spread before the scorpion frontal, do 4 more leaps in cat, and after that, he'll spawn his seeds. Since he'll be in scorpion at this point, be careful not to move out too early with the seeds so you can milk the time in scorpion before transitioning back to cat. And that's basically it. Rinse and repeat, maintain stacks, collect loot. And that's how you kill Majordomo Staghelm on Heroic. Subscribe for more 3-minute guides, and watch the rest of the guides on the screen right now.